Is Deadpool too mature for LEGO? That would explain the absence of new sets despite the latest movie absolutely smashing in the box office. But that's where fake or unofficial LEGO comes in. Standing at more than 30 centimeters tall, meet the largest brick-built figure that we have featured on this channel so far. The robot Deadpool, or the mech with the mouth if you will. He comes with 2 large swords and this futuristic rifle. Let's talk about the build experience, all the features of this set, and the overall value. A bit of a spoiler here, but I love this set. However, as you will see, it's not perfect. Let's talk about it, all this and more on today's BrickScore review. Thank you to barwear.com for sending us this set. More about them later in the video. This is the Mecha Deadpool from a brand called LY Bricks, and it came with more than 2,000 pieces. This is the massive box that the set came in, and I am having a hard time showing you the whole thing as my desk is a bit small. But on the box is a picture of the finished set as well as a few cool features, like the light brick, the spray painted bricks, and the luminous effect pieces. We will talk about each one later. The entire build was decently paced. The set came in 3 large bags and in essentially 3 phases. Despite being a relatively large build, the booklet feels thin. That is because the steps are tiny. It's a little hard seeing all the details of this step. This honestly feels like a cost-saving measure, like they didn't want to spend money on a thicker manual. Slubban does manuals really well, and other alt brands can definitely take a hint from them. The build starts with the bottom half of the mech, and I think the designers did really well with the stability of this part and even the whole mech. Let me show you. Look here, it's a sort of ratcheting support mechanism that allows the feet to hold a position even with the whole weight of the mech. The ball joint is no slouch either, with just enough friction to keep things from sliding willy-nilly. But it is unfortunate that my least favorite part of the build is also here in the bottom half. These legs were, to put it lightly, inaccessible to put together. What do I mean? Well, the manual, as we have established, is a little small, and they have you building both legs simultaneously, so it can be disorienting sometimes to know what goes where. And some of the attachments were tricky to keep together, especially for one with my disability. But I did my best to be patient and not throw the set halfway across the room, and I eventually finished the bottom half. Yay! The upper half of the body was a lot more fun to put together, and I got to see the light brick. It doesn't seem too bright, but we will test that later with the lights off. I appreciate the fact that they used ratcheting ball joints for the elbows and shoulders. They hold their position very well, which is important for a mech of this size. You don't want any part just flopping around. And here is the Deadpool mech all built. This is absolutely massive compared to our usual builds on this channel. He makes the Takeda Shingen look like his younger brother and the My Build mechs like toddlers. The proportions here are great because sometimes when people make something taller, they forget to pull in the other direction too, so you end up with nightmare fuel. The set is built with primarily red and black pieces with shiny gold and silver pieces sprinkled throughout. There are also a few luminescent pieces which we will talk about later. The brick-built head is on a ball joint with amazing articulation. It also has a nice print on the front, but I am disappointed that it doesn't glow. The manual and pictures make it seem like that's the case, and I was hoping it would be like a reflective sticker or a light brick inside the head. Anyway, there is only one other print here, which is this belt buckle. The rest of the details are stickers which are of average quality. The colors are slightly off, but not enough to bother me. The torso features this Iron Man-esque triangle-shaped arc reactor that glows through the use of a light brick. To light it up, you have to lift this panel in the back and sort of poke the hole with an axle. It's not very bright even with the lights off. I wonder if the batteries need replacing. Then again, it's too much trouble to take that out, so bye! The waist does not have a separate articulation point from the torso, so you can't spin him around. I think this is the right choice as they picked stability over extra articulation. With that said, the quality control does not seem to be too good as this ratchet joint in particular has been super loose. I added blue tack and that seems to work fine. I have no idea what these articulating pieces here on both sides of the mech are. I feel like they are the scabbard for his 2 swords. What do you think? Comment down below. The legs are connected with ratcheting joints like the elbows, which again, great choice. They are easy to post, but some pieces do pop out if you are not carefully handling them. Like these knees, they adequately hide the joint, but they sort of slide around and can be easy to pop off. Down here, we talked about the ratcheting support in the foot, but I haven't shown you the shoes yet. These shoes of the mech look like actual shoes with a gap in the sole. If you find that your mechs are slipping on your desk, you can always add a bit of blue tack here to keep it stable. The shoulder pauldrons hold the spray-painted gold pieces that look very nice. Reminds me of shiny casing for ammunition. They are attached to the arms using 2 ball joints, which once again tells us that stability was a high priority for the designer of this set. The hands have individual fingers that remind me of MG Gundam digits. The arms and elbows are also on ratcheting joints, but they don't seem to be enough to lift the weight of this futuristic rifle. It's attached using an inverted modified 2x2 tile with pin. Let's take this off for a closer look. This is super cool, but I feel like the front half is too low and not in line with the rest of the body. The handle of the rifle is this piece, which is connected to a ball joint that is thankfully stiff enough to support its own weight. So far so good, but it may not stay that way. I think it's supposed to be some sort of beam weapon. It uses these trans blue pieces which are apparently luminous. They don't glow in the dark right now, but if my suspicions are correct, if I expose these to my small UV flashlight, we should be able to charge them so they start glowing without the light. Okay, let's put it back, but this time I will put blue tack here to tighten up the pin. And there we go, that is much better. I wish they added a sort of locking mechanism here. The free spinning pin is really not enough to hold this up. Aside from the rifle, the set also came with Deadpool's signature katanas. Well, they are definitely not regular katanas, they are mech katanas. These trans-red blades look great, but I don't know how they want the mech to hold these. The grip strength is basically non-existent, so just handing him the sword is not enough.
Firmly grasp it!
For the right hand, we can use the pin like the rifle, but the problem is they only gave us one of that piece, which means we have to get creative.
Firmly grasp it!
So, are you team rifle or team katanas? Comment down below. Personally, I really like the dual blades. They remind me of the dual blades in Monster Hunter. Now it's time to talk about this set's ratings. Accessibility. The build took a bit longer than my usual mechs since this one was a lot larger than those, but I am glad that it was not a boring or overly tedious build. Well, the shins were fiddly but not enough to sour the whole experience. The build being divided into 3 distinct phases definitely helped. The text on the manual is too small in my opinion. You may have trouble seeing all the details even if you have good eyesight. The inclusion of a brick part separator is a plus. I think sets above 1,000 pieces should always come with one, and indeed it was very useful in this build. Accessibility score of 4 out of 5 stars. Quality. The clutch power of these bricks are not the best. Let's get that out of the way first. But with that said, this is an amazing display piece once it's all together. It's not particularly play-friendly even if they did include multiple play features and swappable weapons, but its towering presence is definitely welcome on my display shelf. Quality score of 4 out of 5 stars. Value. So this set retails for $26 right now on barweir.com. I've seen it for more on other websites, but this might be the best deal, especially if you use our exclusive BrickScore coupon code. I can't believe that you can buy a set with 2,000 plus pieces for less than $30 US. If the name brand would make a similar set, they would probably cost a gajillion dollars plus tax. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Value score of 5 out of 5 stars. Hi, thanks for watching till the end. If you're an alt LEGO mech fan, then check out this playlist of cool mechs from Slovan and other brands. See you in my next video.